Well, hey everyone, welcome back to today's Ask the Pastor question. And I am so pumped for this question today. I am absolutely in love with whoever submitted this question. They did so anonymously, and I am forever grateful. The audacity of this question, the weirdness of this question is my absolute favorite. So please keep questions like this coming, and I will keep answering them because this is amazing. So today's Ask the Pastor question is: are aliens real? Do they exist? And what does Scripture actually say about them? I am, again, so pumped to answer this question because I just got done reading an incredible book that I have been dying to recommend to everyone. I have been telling all my friends about it. They're probably sick of hearing me talk about it right now, but it is called The Unseen Realm by Dr. Michael Heiser. He's since passed since the book released, but it is an incredible book. And it talks about just what it says, the unseen realm, angels and demons and God and Satan and all these different things and how they interact with each other, how they play into our world. Okay, so you'll want to read that. But a follow-up to that has been written by Dr. Joel Muddamalle, who actually studied and did his doctorate work under Michael Heiser. He has a book out called The Unseen Battle, but he also has a podcast out called Stranger Theology. I highly recommend you read both of those books and you listen to his Stranger Theology podcast along with the Blurry Creatures podcast. You didn't know that you were going to get so much good content reference in one episode, I know. But the Blurry Creatures podcast, I love it because they talk about all these kinds of things, all the weird parts of Scripture. They talk about all the ethereal things that happen on earth, like is time travel real and how could that translate to a Christian perspective? And if that sounds crazy, you should listen to the podcast because it kind of is crazy, but I love their approach in wanting to try to figure things out through the lens of the Bible. Okay, now, I recommend all of that to you to say that I really appreciate Joel Muddamalle's perspective on this because he's often said, like, yes, I think there could be things that we deem as aliens, but probably aren't in the way that we see them. So we think of the Area 51, E.T., the Armageddon movie, stuff like that as like planet from another life coming here to Earth and engaging with us, life on other planets, right? But his perspective is like, no, I definitely think that there are things that we see in our world that are like extraterrestrial, otherworldly life forms and beings. But the reality is it's probably things of the unseen realm. They're probably things like angels or like demons or if you're familiar with the Nephilim, the disembodied spirits, the sons of God, all that kind of stuff, because those things are still very much at play in our world. I think as modern people, modern Christians, it's really hard for us to really fathom or understand or believe in anything that we can't see or touch or hear or feel. And so this idea of this supernatural, otherworldly, unseen realm just seems so baffling and almost just so far-fetched to us. But especially as Christians, we have to understand that the spiritual realm is true. Like if we don't believe that, then literally what's the point of the whole Bible? Why did Jesus have to come? What's the point of the whole story? Well, there is an adversary who caused humans to fall into sin and who has been waging chaos in our world ever since. That's precisely why Jesus had to come to redeem his people. And so for us to just believe that there is no supernatural power, that there aren't false gods, there aren't dark forces working against Yahweh, the God of the Bible that we believe in, that's just asinine. That's silly of us, because otherwise, what is the whole point of the story? Like, there would be no story of Christianity had there not been a dark supernatural power trying to come between humans and God. And so, do aliens exist? I land with Joel of like, I think there are things in our world that we can't quite understand. I think people definitely experience things with extraterrestrial beings, or I would say spiritual or celestial beings. Again, not life on other planets like we tend to think about it from Hollywood or things like that, but I do think that people have real experiences with non-human beings. They just aren't aliens. They're more like angels, demons, spiritual realm, and things like that. So again, I would highly recommend those resources if you want to know more about this. That's The Unseen Realm by Dr. Michael Heiser. It's The Unseen Battle by Dr. Joel Muddamalle, the Stranger Theology podcast, and the Blurry Creatures podcast. I'm going to tag them all in the show notes, and so you can check them out, and so you can get into some of the weirder parts of the Bible and theology, but it's really fun once you start reading it. So thank you again to whoever asked that question. Please keep those coming. Those are some of my favorite parts of the Bible to talk about. Maybe we'll do a whole series on it. Who knows? But hey, I'll see you on Thursday for our next full episode.